All right, let's dive into something kind of fascinating today.
Sounds good.
We're going to be talking about cold exposure and how it can actually, believe it or not, help you build resilience. We've got some excerpts here from Andrew Bromley's Building Resilience.
Okay.
And we're going to kind of explore together, just how powerful braving the cold can be.
Yeah.
For both your mind and your body.
Okay.
I used to think resilience was just about kind of gritting your teeth and pushing through tough times.
Right.
But this book goes way beyond that.
Interesting.
So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it.
Well, what's interesting here is that the book actually challenges this idea
Okay.
that we should always try to avoid stress.
Okay.
Instead, it presents this concept called hormesis,
Hormesis. Okay.
where controlled exposure to stressors, like the ones we experience with cold,
Right.
can actually make us stronger over time.
So instead of always seeking comfort, we should actually be seeking out challenges.
Yeah.
That's a pretty counterintuitive idea.
It might seem that way at first,
Yeah.
but think about it like this. You wouldn't expect your muscles to get stronger without challenging them, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's the same with our stress response system.
Okay.
By exposing ourselves to these controlled doses of stress,
Okay.
like short bursts of cold, we're essentially training these systems
Right.
to become more adaptable
Okay.
and more resilient in the face of bigger challenges.
That makes sense, but isn't some stress unhealthy?
Right.
Where's the line between
Yeah, that's a great question.
good stress and bad stress?
The key is in the word controlled.
Okay.
We're not talking about chronic, overwhelming stress here.
Right.
Hormesis works because these short-term stressors, like a cold shower,
Right.
trigger this whole cascade of adaptations in our bodies
Okay.
that ultimately make us more capable of handling stress in the long run.
So it's like giving our bodies a little stress vaccine,
Exactly.
so to speak.
And these adaptations go far beyond just our stress response systems.
Oh, wow.
The book dives deep into all these physiological benefits of cold exposure.
Okay.
And it's pretty remarkable how something as simple as cold can have such a profound impact on our physical health.
Well, let's unpack some of those benefits then.
Sure.
I'm really curious to know how, cold affects us at a cellular level.
Think about what happens when you're exposed to cold.
Okay.
Your blood vessels constrict, which helps redirect blood flow to your core
Right?
to keep your vital organs warm.
Okay.
This process is known as vasoconstriction.
Vasoconstriction.
It's like a workout for your circulatory system,
Mm-hmm.
improving its efficiency, and even potentially reducing your risk of cardiovascular disease.
So imagine your blood vessels tightening.
Yeah.
Becoming super efficient highways, delivering warmth to your core.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing to think about our bodies doing that automatically.
Right.
Without us even having to, consciously think about it.
And then there's shivering, which is your body's way of generating heat through rapid muscle contractions.
Okay.
It might not be the most pleasant sensation,
Right.
but it's actually boosting your metabolism and burning calories.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So even just a few minutes of cold exposure can give our metabolism a little kickstart.
Precisely.
Wow.
And the benefits go even deeper.
Okay.
Cold exposure can also stimulate the production of what are called cold shock proteins
Cold shock proteins.
within our cells.
Mm.
These proteins are fascinating because they play this crucial role in cellular repair
Oh, wow.
and protection.
So they're like little repair crews
Yeah.
that get activated when we expose ourselves to colds.
Exactly.
Interesting. And what's interesting is that the book highlights how these cold shark proteins might even have a protective effect against, neurodegenerative diseases
That's right.
like Alzheimer's.
Research is showing that cold shock proteins may help protect our brain cells from damage, potentially playing a role in reducing the risk of conditions like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
We're talking about potential long-term benefits for our brain health just from exposing ourselves to cold.
Exactly.
It makes you realize how interconnected our bodies are.
Absolutely.
Everything's kind of working together.
Yeah.
And speaking of overcoming mental barriers, the book dives deep into this example of cold water swimming.
Yeah.
I have to admit, the thought of plunging into icy water sends shivers down my spine.
I bet.
But I'm intrigued by what the book has to say about it.
Yeah.
I'm willing to keep an open mind.
Well, what's fascinating is that cold water swimming isn't just about the physical challenge.
Okay.
It also offers incredible mental benefits.
Oh.
Just think about that initial shock.
Okay.
When you first enter cold water,
Yeah.
you have to confront that feeling of discomfort.
You're right.
and choose to overcome it.
Right.
It's a powerful mental exercise.
It sounds like a way to build mental toughness. Exactly.
Like really train your mind to not give in to those initial impulses.
You learn to tolerate the discomfort.
Yeah.
Even learn to
Enjoy it.
enjoy it, yeah.
Wow.
And that mental fortitude can then be applied to other challenges in life.
Right.
And that's what can be so beneficial in, other areas of your life.
So we're talking about more than just like the physical benefits here.
Yeah.
Cold water swimming sounds like a way to actually train your mind to like overcome challenges and build resilience in all areas of life.
It is. And this ties back to what we discussed earlier about hormesis.
Okay.
By repeatedly exposing ourselves to the controlled stress of cold water.
Right.
We're strengthening our ability to handle stress in general.
Right.
It's like building a mental callus.
That's such a great analogy.
Yeah.
And the book mentions that cold water swimming also has some amazing mood-boosting effects.
Right. It triggers the release of endorphins and other feel-good chemicals, giving you that natural high.
So not only are you building resilience, but you're also improving your mood
right.
and overall sense of well-being.
It sounds like there's a lot to gain from embracing the cold.
For sure.
But I have to admit, the idea of jumping into a freezing lake still seems a bit daunting.
I understand.
Are there other ways to incorporate cold exposure into our lives that are maybe a little more, approachable?
Absolutely. Cold water swimming is just one example.
Okay.
The book actually talks about a variety of techniques.
Okay.
From simple cold showers.
Right.
To ice baths and even cryotherapy.
Okay, so let's break down some of those options.
Sure.
I'm guessing cold showers are a good place to start for most people.
They are. And the great thing about cold showers is they're so easily accessible.
Right.
You don't need any special equipment or facilities.
Right.
You can simply turn the knob to cold at the end of your regular shower.
So easy. The book suggests starting gradually, right? With just a few seconds of cold water and then slowly increasing the duration over time. Exactly.
It's important to listen to your body.
Okay.
And not push yourself too hard too fast.
Right.
And even a short burst of cold water can have benefits.
Really?
It can help improve circulation, boost your energy levels, and even enhance your focus.
It's interesting how something so simple can have such a big impact.
It is.
And what about ice baths? Those seem to be gaining popularity these days.
They are. Ice baths are essentially a more intense form of cold exposure.
Okay.
They involve submerging your body in ice-cold water for a short period of time.
Okay.
Typically 10-15 minutes.
That sounds intense.
It can be.
What are the benefits of going to that extreme?
Well, ice baths are known for their ability to reduce inflammation and muscle soreness. They can also help speed up recovery after workouts.
Okay.
And potentially even improve sleep quality.
So for athletes or people who engage in strenuous physical activity, ice baths could be a valuable tool.
Definitely.
What about cryotherapy?
Yeah.
That's something I've heard about, but I don't really understand how it works.
Cryotherapy involves exposing your body to extremely cold temperatures.
Okay.
Typically around a negative 110 degrees Celsius.
Wow.
For a very short period of time, usually 2-4 minutes.
Okay.
It's done in a specialized chamber.
Wow, that's cold.
It is.
What are the supposed benefits of cryotherapy?
It's believed to reduce inflammation,
okay,
alleviate pain, and improve recovery from injuries. It's also being studied for its potential benefits in treating certain skin conditions and mood disorders.
It sounds like there are a lot of promising applications for cryotherapy.
There are.
But it's important to note that it's a more extreme form of cold exposure.
Yes.
And should be approached with caution.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's crucial to consult with a healthcare professional before trying cryotherapy.
Right.
To ensure it's safe and appropriate for you.
Good advice.
And regardless of the method you choose.
Okay.
It's always important to start gradually, listen to your body.
Right.
And never push yourself beyond your limits.
That's great advice. So we've talked about a range of cold exposure techniques, from simple cold showers to more intense methods like ice baths and cryotherapy.
Yep.
It seems like there's an option for everyone, no matter their level of comfort or experience.
There is. And the key is to find what works best for you.
Yeah.
And incorporate it into your routine in a way that feels sustainable.
Right.
Remember, the goal is to challenge yourself in a healthy and controlled way to reap the benefits of hormesis and build resilience.
It's all about finding that sweet spot.
Yeah.
Where you're pushing your boundaries without overwhelming yourself.
Exactly.
And that brings us back to the core theme of this deep dive.
Right.
Harnessing the power of cold for personal growth.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that by embracing the cold, we're not just improving our physical health.
Right.
We're also strengthening our minds, building resilience.
Right.
And expanding our capacity for growth.
It's about proving to ourselves that we can overcome discomfort.
Yeah.
And emerge stronger on the other side.
And that realization can have a ripple effect throughout our lives. If we can handle the cold, what else can we handle?
That's a good question.
It opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
It's like unlocking a hidden reserve of inner strength.
And that's what's so empowering about this whole concept.
Yeah.
It's not about becoming some sort of cold weather fanatic or anything. It's about recognizing that we actually have the power to choose how we respond to discomfort. We can either shy away from it or we can lean into it.
All right.
Knowing that on the other side, lies greater resilience and a deeper understanding of our own capabilities.
So it's not just about like the physical benefits of cold exposure, but like the mental and emotional growth that comes with pushing our boundaries.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that even small steps can make a big difference.
Yeah.
You don't have to start with ice baths or cryotherapy.
Right.
Even just ending your shower with a burst of cold water can be a powerful first step.
It's about building that habit of embracing discomfort. Yeah. And proving to ourselves that we're capable of more than we think.
And as you continue to challenge yourself, you'll likely find that the things that used to feel uncomfortable become easier and maybe even enjoyable.
It's like expanding your comfort zone one cold shower at a time.
Exactly. And as your comfort zone expands, so too does your capacity for resilience and growth.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
We've explored the science behind hormesis.
Right.
The amazing physiological and mental benefits of cold exposure and practical ways to incorporate it into our lives.
Absolutely.
Was there anything that particularly stood out to you as we were exploring these ideas?
Well, what I find so fascinating is how this concept challenges our conventional thinking about stress.
Yeah.
We're often told to avoid stress at all costs.
Right, yeah.
But this book really highlights how stress, when approached strategically, can actually be a catalyst for growth.
That's so true. It's a reminder that we don't have to be victims of our circumstances. We have the power to choose how we respond to challenges.
Absolutely.
And even use them to our advantage.
Right.
And cold exposure is such a tangible way to put that principle into practice.
It is.
It's a way to train our minds and bodies to become more adaptable, more resilient, and more capable of handling whatever life throws our way.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of cold exposure, I'm left with this thought-provoking question for you, dear listener.
Okay.
If you could train your mind and body to become more resilient to stress, what challenges would you feel more equipped to face?
That's a good one.
What goals would you pursue with greater confidence?
It's a powerful question to consider.
Yeah.
And maybe as you reflect on it, you'll be inspired to take that first step towards embracing the cold. Who knows what you might discover about yourself along the way.
Embrace the cold, push your boundaries, and unlock your inner resilience. Love it.
You might be surprised at what you find on the other side of discomfort.
Truth.
Until next time, happy diving.